think that we will see what he deems to be his absolute best chance at a GSL Finals.
All right, our game is now loaded up. We're going to start this on Kings Cove. Hurricane versus Dark. The best of 7 begins now.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Oh, already we've got a probe going out on the map here.
Yeah, could be a hatchery block.
Yep.
Of course, we do see cannon rushes on this map from time to time.
Yeah,
we're going to have to be the case.
Wait for the forge if we're going to see that. We'll know that in just a second here. All right, gateway opening.
Yeah, so just going to block that hatchery. No biggie. See what Dark is up to.
This will force Dark's drone to go to where the third base location is instead of the second, since the probe could physically block the hatchery from starting.
Can be an annoyance. Kings Cove, though.
It's always a way that Protoss have used in a very small, easy way to just sort of dictate the growth and rhythm of the Zerg. The very top-end Zergs, I don't think they struggle with this at all, but it can be some comfort there.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're going to do some harassment and things, that can make it very annoying. Adepts coming in, your creep spread's not going to be perfect. A transfer of a queen to this base is going to take a lot longer.
Right.
There are all sorts of little things that can make this worthwhile.
That all comes with the sacrifice of not having a probe mining early on as well.
Yeah, of course. That does make quite a difference.
Yeah, I mean, when you play, you really will feel immediately if you send a worker out too soon, just how much less you're going to be getting as far as mining goes.
But this is a pretty standard play overall. And we should mention that Kings Cove, this is really a macro map. You don't actually see like Immortal builds, for instance, which are kind of all the rage right now, just end games on this map so much. It's just the third base is easy to take. It's up a hill. It's hard to push up into that situation. Like, you can do it, but it's hard. And then the fourth base is in a very wide open area. So we see a lot of longer games here.
Very true. So the Nexus nearing completion here. This probe is about to be driven out. No more scouting here. A big picture here. Generally speaking, what a lot of the Zergs have struggled against with Protoss is all these different timing attacks. Basically, Zerg is attempting to grow and develop, but then the Protoss comes in at a very specific moment with a very specific set of units, and usually breaks the jaw of the Zerg with a lot of those attacks. The problem is that even if you suspect a timing attack is coming as the Zerg, you don't know what kind of timing attack it's going to be, and each timing attack requires a different balance of units, as well as, when did you stop making drones, and, when can you start again?
Sure. Now, Twilight coming in, you would expect this just to be Glaives, but I mean, it can be DT. The Zergling getting in is actually pretty gigantic. Yeah, he saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Our drones are under attack.
Okay, so maybe a DT-based Archon drop coming out?
That could be fine. This was definitely something that was popular a little while ago, although I don't think it became less popular because it wasn't good. I think it just became too common. So now we've got the 4 Lings coming in here, and by the way, much less than the Lings actually getting the kills on these workers off, the scouting is huge here.
It's gigantic. You can see that Hurricane is a little bit off right now in the first game. Even when those Zerglings were coming, he actually attacked the plate, right? So you can see he's already done some misclicks, like his wall, was it not up in time? Did Dark find a small hole? It's hard to say. But right now, like as of this moment, Dark is looking very on top of things, and Hurricane is not as much.
Yeah, Dark has done everything that you could do at this point in time.
Yeah.
And it's gone perfectly here. And I'll tell you something, man. Hurricane's going to be feeling very insecure at the start of the series. The fact that he's already been scouted, he's already been exposed early on, and I know these are the best in the world, but it's kind of unforgivable to get scouted like that, with just, Lings just slipping in, for instance. And so we'll see how he handles this from here on out, and now even seeing as the War Prism is leaving, what direction it's coming in.
Now, puts a pylon over here. He is setting up a very quick Zergling drop. This is something we have seen in the past. Obviously, this is a very cool move from Dark. This would be one of the things that he would have prepped in this situation. Look at this. He's making a lot of lings right now. Don't forget, this is a DT-based Archon play, most likely, with charge behind it. So the fact that he doesn't have a Roach Warren is actually huge.
Okay, the first CT is going to come in. Meanwhile, this drop over here with these Zerglings is going to do a lot of damage.
Oh
a good
my
attack
God.
over here inside the natural, and it looks like Dark is winning on every front.
Oh my God, he lured the units up into the main base and then ran in the natural. Right now, Dark is really playing Hurricane like a fiddle.
Yeah, we are seeing Hurricane crash and burn right now in game 1. Now already losing more workers. It's been 10 kills. The DT not attacking the right places here, hitting structures instead of workers. We have more lings, I believe. Did the lings actually spill into the main?
No, it looks like there was something in the wall right there, but maybe
Okay.
they'll get... No, they're not going to get through there, but...
Oh,
now
Nidus
coming up.
I didn't even notice there was a Nidus network here. Wow. They're going to come in there and start to do even more damage. And well, actually, hold on. He might be able to kill this just before.
With the DT tech, it doesn't seem like the Nidus should be a game ender in the main base, right? Okay, he's still making queens, still making lings, so going to just reroute this Nidus to the front of the base. And with only one Immortal out, as long as he has detection there, I mean, the push should be pretty scary, I would say.
Yeah, well, this is going to be a tough balancing act if Hurricane tries to actually harass with that Warp Prism, because he needs pretty much every warp and imaginable if he's going to hold this off. Then you can see with the close proximity of the Nidus, there's so many queens can come out here and start to gun down this area. This makes a huge difference than if it were to be just Zerglings attacking here. The second Nidus is coming up. This has been trending a whole lot here, especially with how Cyril's been playing. And so that second Nidus is going to pop in here. And again, it's going to be up to the Protoss to try to stamp everything out as quickly as possible.
Oh,
beautiful transfuses from the low ground onto the high ground. That's so sick.
Seriously. Dark just smashing face right now. This looks
he's
so
good.
strong.
He's so good, it's actually almost funny.
It's not just that he's so good either. Like this seems like very good prep. This is just perfectly executed. But Hurricane is not playing his top tier game right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. By the way, the Nidus in the main was actually held up, so despite all the great play, that attack has been thwarted. But we have the Spine Crawlers coming here and attacking just outside of the natural, and there's going to be more units filtering out of this Nidus to get in the way here. And the Protoss either has to commit and try to fight this or give up his wall in.
Well, let's see what he can do with some counter harassment during all this, because the pro versus drone count is not that different, so it's still a playable game here for Hurricane, even though Dark looks like he's doing great.
Yeah, very true. The third base here for the Zerg is more of a placeholder than anything else. It's not actually being mined from. Looks like the DT, though, is going to be picked off, giving Dark a lot more comfort back at home.
Yeah, he's broken through here, but with 5 shield batteries, that doesn't seem like an area that you're likely to break.
Now, even though it looks like Hurricane's been on the ropes this entire time, this is a heavy investment from Dark, and if this is eventually driven out, it's going to be really, really problematic for Dark if he tries to go into an economy game.
Well, he is starting to drone up a bit, and I think that is very clearly the right move. Like, he's got this annoying thing for Hurricane to deal with, but he's got no real way to do more damage to Hurricane, I don't think, right? It's just, there's no way to break in the natural, and he can't get any more Niduses into the main. So, that's kind of the end of that. Oh my God, Gain of Prism's gigantic.
Oh!
That is huge.
Good kill there. I've actually lost count of how many DTs have been filtered into the Zerg side of the map. Is it like 4 or 5 at this point in time?
It might be, or
yeah.
I don't know how many times he picked it up because we've been watching so much action over here. But
yeah.
Okay, so let's try to look at exactly where they're at right now. 41 workers against 52. Dark's production a bit better right now. Forge coming up for Hurricane, so he's definitely looking to play a longer game here. But with all that creep spread in the way, it's going to be a little bit before he can actually take his third base. So I feel like it's advantage Dark right now.
I like how Dark has been playing this. He's keeping the pressure on. You know, with that creep that's over there in the bottom left, you know, I think Protoss would be eager to expand since you probably can't push out an attack just yet, I think. But the funny thing is the way that Nidus is set up and the creep is over there at the third, you can't even expand right away.
Yeah.
It's kind of another annoying thing that hadn't even occurred to me until we just now saw this. So he has to clean that up.
Oh, he actually misses a tumor. That's annoying.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
But yeah, I think that right now Hurricane probably should be... Oh, he throws on 5 gates. Never mind. I guess he's just going to attack. I love this Spire, though. My God, I think that's a great Spire.
So because of the Protoss' unit composition, we see Immortals and lots of Sentries. Now, granted, there are Archons. Mutas are still going to be fine against this. If he masses out a bunch of Mutas and blindsides this army, or he even goes into the main and the natural and kills the workers there.
Especially on this map, especially since he already has Nidus Tech. You can turtle heavily on this map, so it's going to be hard for a frontal attack. Like, Protoss can definitely make an army that Mutas can't touch.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, wow, look at that.
I was actually drinking my water. I didn't even look and see. Yeah, there's some roaches that got in here.
But yeah, you know, the Spire just, it seems perfect here. You know, you're going to force him into making like a bunch of Archons, maybe even getting Blink or something like that. He obviously can't really afford getting into Stargate tech.
Can we just point out that Dark has played almost everything perfectly?
Pretty close.
This game, I mean, he's really not missed a beat. Every opportunity there's been to kill workers, he's done it. Even with the number of roaches that were sent into the main here, he didn't overdo it, which we've seen other players do, where they send their whole army in there and then lose that fight and things even out. And we're actually about to have Dark get maxed out here.
Yeah, two Stargates are coming up, so you can see that Hurricane's starting to counter that Spire. But without his third base up, with this low of a probe count, with the Mutas coming out right now, which is going to tax him in so many ways, I mean, it feels like we are just waiting for Dark to drop the hammer.
Okay, another Knight is coming in here. Again, this is just really keeping Hurricane on top of his game. But we want to wait for this Muta attack.
All right, let's see what he does with those exactly. Looks like there's
really well-placed Archon there.
Yeah, has the defense. Not sure exactly how much damage this is going to do, but again, even forcing your opponent to make some Phoenixes right now, I don't feel like these Phoenixes really, they're not the unit you need right now. Like, maybe they are to deal with the Mutas, but like against this huge Roach tech, you really need to be making Immortals.
Right.
Look, it's maxed out against 96 supply. Holy God.
And now the attack is going to begin over here. With this number of Ravagers, force fields are going to be a very temporary thing.
Yeah, he is starting to bash through here right now. Of course, as those Archons go down, the Mutas can be used of it. It looks like he's just diving on the Prism.
Oh my God, he actually killed off all the Mutas and kept the War Prism alive. Good hold here, but this Nidus is about to finish out. So this means Queens can come in here with Transfuse and begin to reinforce.
Yeah, it seems like he should be able to still break through here.
Dark is such a monster. Yeah, I think we're going to see this Protoss army thin out.
It's funny.
Zerg kind of come through?
Yeah, well, he should be able to still break it. Like, the force fields are going to end up running out. The Queens have lots of transfusion energy here as well. You can see just transfusions going off left and or right. Thieves is coming in. They are not that useful against this mass Queen. Oh my God.
Oh, whoa.
Okay,
I was wondering why he was backing up and where the rest of his army was. You know, this is something we've seen, especially with Nidus, is that the Zerg can basically warp armies into different locations so quickly, whereas the Protoss basically has, you know, one recall and then a certain amount of time to kind of let that cycle through, that eventually the Zerg can try to win the positional game.
Yeah. So, Dark did that very, very well. It seems like Hurricane made a few mistakes. A bunch of Lings got in the early game, then the drop came. He brought all the units from his wall without sealing it, which allowed more Lings in to kill more probes. A lot of things went wrong there for Hurricane. It felt like Dark really outdid him, but it also felt like Hurricane was very shaky. I don't expect the games to look like that anymore.
Well, I think it's hopefully it's going to get better for Hurricane, because we have had games where some of these players who are less experienced, i.e. Hurricane in a Final Four, sometimes the wheels start to come off the bus, Artosis.
Yeah.
They start to play worse and worse. I mean, that was a pretty demoralizing game. I thought Hurricane fought back hard, but Dark looked absolutely terrifying.
He did.
You show somebody that game right there and say, and they're from a different time period in StarCraft, and say, everybody's complaining about Protoss being too strong. You'd say, are you serious? The Zerg looked untouchable.
How would you ever beat that?
How would you ever stop that Zerg, you know? We're going to go to Turbo Cruise 84 for map number 2. Hurricane vs. Dark continues on.
Hurricane.
Are we looking at a 13-12 right here, Tasteless?
Ooh. Yes.
Gosu Crew, Dark.
Dark's build looks like he's playing Starcraft 1 right now.
This is going to be interesting to see what he wants to do with this.
Yeah, we've seen Dark do some of these quick gas builds a lot.
Yeah.
And it seems to be a build that it looks like it's not a standalone build, but a build you incorporate into a best of 7.
Now look at this. This is a perfectly timed drone.
Yeah, this is a fake.
This build could be reactionary due to Hurricane doing the quick probe hatchery block in game 1.
Yeah.
Because now Hurricane was unaware this was happening because he sent his drone down at the right time to take the hatchery. And you can see, look at that. Did you see that? Hurricane just, oh, nice little posters out there. Hurricane just flicked out a forge and then canceled it. Like, he didn't make it, but you could see him, you know how you select it and it shows the building that you're about to build?
Right.
He did that with forge. And that is absolutely not what you want. So, again, I'm seeing these little things that Hurricane is doing that makes me think he's very nervous.
Yeah, we saw that little hologram of the forge up there. I think that is a very good telegraph. Oh, from Toronto, thank you for coming down. That is a very good telegraph of maybe the mental state here of Hurricane.
Yeah.
The core is going to be down. The second gateway is coming down. There's a Roach Warren behind this. The Lings will be able to hit the front. This can fish the Zealot out into attacking, but you got to be careful because if the Zealot gets surrounded, actually, I guess with the second Zealot out, he'll be more than fine against that, excuse me.
Yeah, but that's fine. This isn't what is supposed to do damage from Dark. This is kind of, you know, getting Hurricane a little bit on the back foot, but he's really set up for this Roach Warren. Be interesting to see if a Nexus comes out. No, he started his second gas, so it seems like Hurricane is taking this ever so seriously.
Which I think he has to.
Yeah.
I think really what the Zerg wants is for the Protoss to try to get a Nexus out, and for that to get shut down.
And notice how he's making 3 Roaches right now? I think that's going to be it. I think he just wants to make some Ravagers. Like, I guess he makes another Roach right there. We'll see how many he ends up making, but it feels like this is a build where you want some Ravagers to try to plow through here.
Well, he makes 4 more Lings behind that, too. So he's actually going to commit. Now, let's see here. There's 2 pylons that are powering everything over here. Do you want to just try to get the core? What is the first structure you want to go for? Or do you want to try to hit the attacking units in between the gate and the core and try to pop in?
Maybe break units. I mean, you definitely don't want the robo-powered because if there gets out to an Immortal and a Prism, that's probably enough to hold, right?
We've seen plenty of rushes where the idea of the attack is to try to get to where the robo is because that's basically the heart of the defense. Whoa!
My
good
God.
surround!
Yeah, really good.
Oh, he does not plug that correctly.
Maybe slightly too fancy right there. Oh my God, those biles.
He like preempted.
Yeah,
he preempted the battery.
Okay, he's forcing cancels immediately. Oh my God, he is really diving hard on that Immortal. He really needs to get rid of that.
I don't know, this Immortal's in a really good spot over here. Oh, great control here. Might put the Ravager back.
Oh my God, if he saves that Ravager somehow.
He's gonna get the Immortal.
That is huge if he can get that. Oh my God.
He gets it. But then there's nothing left. There's nothing around here.
Yeah, he's making a Ravager in the back, and he's still rallying up. It seems like this rush is not over. Look at that Ravager.
One drone being made here.
Fresh Ravager going up the hill. Not sure what he's going to do with that one. Uh-oh, Dark. This is not looking that good right now. Now a Prism's on the way. So you know those cannon rush into Immortal Prism games where like there's a few Ravagers and Queens on one hatchery trying to hold on?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one of those games without the cannons and shield batteries?
No, but I think I'm going to see one right now.
I think you might be about to see that.
I think we're going to see this seesaw pretty heavily here.
Yeah.
Does Zerg have enough to try to counterattack? Because, you know, you're going to take the Immortal with this type of attack.
Gosh. I don't even think so, man. I don't think he really has enough of anything to do anything. I think Dark is dead in the water right now. How in the hell are you ever going to stop this Prism?
And by the way, guys, this is all because Dark committed so heavily to doing an attack at an opening like this that he doesn't have a lot of assets later on. And, you know, once Hurricane gets the Warp Prism and the Immortal out, that's when the abuse can really come. I mean, we see Immortals and Warp Prisms take on entire armies. And this is, I mean, what Zerg has here is fairly puny by comparison.
Yeah, just picking off units already. I mean, Queen's trying to push back the Prism is about as good as you can do, but look at this. Oh my gosh, this is so hard to stop. He can, of course, stop this hatchery. I think Dark might just GG.
Well, I mean, what is your future in this game once this location is lost?
No, there's nothing. He's really trying to hit the prism. If he kills the prism, maybe he'll stand. But like, as this hatchery goes down, yeah.
GG.
Okay, so
Hurricane bounces back. It's tied up 1-1.
you know, it's funny because Dark chose a very, very all-in strategy here. If Hurricane had thought that there was nothing else coming, and instead of the Robo had thrown down a Nexus, Dark will kill it. But in this case, Hurricane took it very seriously. He made his robotics right there. He chronoed everything. His micro was good enough. And Dark's all-in failed, and that's it. Game 3, let's go.
I like the build order from Dark, but it's very nice to see that Hurricane holds that Hurricane has hope, and that's going to be a big morale boost from him too, because Game 1 was very, very shaky. We'll have to see what happens in Game 3. We are going to a short break. When we return, the round of 4 of Hurricane versus Dark continues on here at the GSL.
Hope isn't lost. Tear away the need and stripping back each feeling to start. The life on high wire. Balance and believing, put and test your fear in the dark. Every second's leaving, it's got somewhere to be. And you thought you were chasing, it might as well be. All my life, all the folded arms. Foreign hearts, fake left marks. Oh, my legs started shaking and my head was a mess. I cried myself silly, then I put you to rest. Fight for your right. And you can do it, darling. Practice in the mirror at night. Sight for sore eyes. Use it without limit. I can feel the mercury rise. Lose me in the madness. Let the darkness take control. You will find no retribution, and you will find no heart of gold. All my life, all the folded arms.
Yes, I'ma love you like you love Johnny Cash.
I'll be your gangster, I'll be your man in black.
I know what I'm doing, yeah, don't need a map.
I got the juice to throw your train off the track. Honey, do whatever you want, I'll be watching.
Get a little too close, oh, smile we're touching. No, I'm not fronting, I'm just stating a fact.
I'll rock your world, I'll knock you flat on your back.
When I'm good, I'm really good, boy. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good, girl. When I'm bad, I'm better. You be my bunny, baby, I'll be your Clyde.
Hit the ignition and I'll give you a ride.
swing of your hips has got me fit to be tied.
I'm shaking tail and taking names on the side. Honey, do whatever you want. I'll be watching.
Get a little too close, now we're touching. No, I'm not fronting, I'm just stating a fact.
I'll rock your world and knock you flat on your back. When I'm good, I'm really good, boy. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good, girl. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good, boy. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good, girl. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm bad, I'm better. When I'm bad, I'm better. When I'm good, I'm really good, boy. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good, girl. When I'm bad, I'm better.
Code S semifinals.
Welcome back. We're here in the GSL Code S round of 4. It's tied up 1-1. We saw Dark completely dominate in game 1, getting all the scouting off, holding off all the harass, and really abusing Hurricane with a lot of great Nidus play, a lot of great pushes. Hurricane eventually holds that off, but rinse and repeat, Dark closes that out. Then in game 2, we saw Dark go for a really aggressive quick pull, sending Lings across the map, going for a Roach Ravager attack. I think Hurricane knew exactly how to defend that, and he won with a very graceful counterattack.
Very aggressive plays in both games. Extremely all-in in game number 2 from Dark. Really continue down that path. Our next map is going to be Thunderbird. I feel like this is one where we're almost forced into a longer game, right? You got those minerals kind of blocking the paths and everything. But before I talk too much about that, don't forget the finals in 1 week.
So listen up, everybody. If you are unable to get a ticket, we have first come, first serve sale basis. It starts at 12 p.m. We're not giving it away. I think it's a few dollars.
It's like $2 for standing seat and some dollars, a few dollars more for
it's basically
it's
practically free. Okay. Now if you get down here, you need to get down here early. We are going to just fill up the studio to the maximum legal capacity before the fire station down the street shuts us down. But even if you can't get into there, we have rented out a conference room in B1 of our building.
Yeah, we've done this before where we get over capacity, so we have some monitors set up or whatever down there so you can actually watch us still in the building.
We've never actually been down there, but
I don't go in the basement. I don't have a car, so
that's we usually just put the losers in their cells down there when the matches are over to be tortured until the next season. But basically, if you come down, you should be able to get in. So whether you're in the studio on floor 2 of our building or you're in B1, you could at least experience this live with some other people that love StarCraft too.
Sure. Okay, so back to the match. Set 3, Thunderbird. The big question here is, does Dark keep up the aggression? Obviously, when Dark is doing the aggression, it's less about Hurricane's build. So maybe that's his plan.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Hurricane. Gosu Crew, Dark.
All right, no TVT finals.
The glass is 3/4 of the way full with that guy.
That's right. That's a great positive spin on our tournament
Yeah.
so far.
Although, to be fair, our last TVT finals was awesome.
Yeah.
It was actually our best finals the last 2 years, I would say.
Actually, I think you're
Mario
right about
versus
that.
TY,
Yeah, that was really exciting.
That was an awesome, awesome finals. Oh, offensive hatch, perhaps? No. Never mind. This is a hatch block.
Okay, here we go. Planting here. Oh, my God, the probe nearly denied that. Had that been of a fraction of a second later, that would have actually not been able to plant there. This is another technique that Zerg used. You know, we saw in game one the probe sent across, actually it was in both games, the probe sent across the map to block the hatchery. This is sort of like the Zerg version of that, although it has a different way it operates.
Yeah. It forces the Protoss to tech up a little bit quicker and slows down the Nexus. There's different ways you can deal with it. There's like various amounts of probes that you can pull that will kill it at different speeds.
Yes.
Like how many Zealots do you want to make in the early game? Are you going to add the second gateway? Are you going to go heavier tech or skip your second gas? These are all questions, and you have to play differently against all of them.
What I would estimate is that Dark has all the Protoss responses mapped out pretty damn perfectly, and what he's going to go for from there, is some type of timing attack to do something that's going to come in there and probably hurt him. It'll depend on what he gets a read on, though.
Maybe. And thank you everyone for coming down.
Yeah, we
Quite
actually
a full
filled up the
audience.
studio. Yeah,
Yeah.
Great audience today. Excuse me.
But anyways, I am very, very interested. Oh my God, the drone is still alive in here and gets to see the tech. That's awesome.
Yep. Unless Protoss cancels, that's a very good read.
He did see it, right?
He should have. We'll see. I still don't think the probe's going to be. I mean, the drone's going to be killed off that quickly, anyways.
Yeah. Okay. He's circled back, and 100% now he's seen it. But
Now-
seeing the Robo, that's definitely a start.
Yeah, well, let's also not forget what happened in Game 1. I mean, Dark got some very good control early on, and he got a lot of scouting in there. And it seems to me in a lot of Dark's games, if he gets the scout off, the rest of the game is pretty easy to navigate.
Okay, so Twilight coming up right now. That doesn't tell us a huge amount at the moment. Like this could be something with Glaives for a push. It could be something with Charge or a delayed Archon. There is that really, really dirty Patience build where you make it look like an Immortal push and then you warp in DTs and they don't have spores.
Yeah.
That one's real good if you want 3 points on ladder. I don't know exactly what we're going to be seeing here from Hurricane, but Dark is playing a nice, safe game right now.
Did Stalker just attack his own sentry? Did you see that?
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, he just noticed it.
Wow. That sentry better watch itself.
Now, the Stalker will chase out the Overlord, but overall the intel has basically been gained. A few more gateways is going to come down here, and I'm guessing this is just going to be that Archon harass, unless he does try to just spring the DTs on his opponent here.
Well, I think he will do that because this is the wrong ordering for buildings.
Yeah.
Right now it looks more like it's an Immortal build, and he did not get any confirmation of Twilight or Dark Shrine.
And so having that little bit of extra surprise, then he can come in there. And again, if Zerg did not cross his T's and dot his I's, he could end up taking a real beating that then Protoss can really start to leverage as the game continues further onward.
Yeah. So a couple of adepts, he'll probably do this little maneuver you see sometimes where he shades them in and picks them up with the Prism after they kill a couple units, a couple drones, whatever. The Dark Shrine going to be finishing up. We're going to have to see like how many DTs he wants to make and where he sends them. And obviously, are we going to see Overseers made over here? Okay, one starts.
Did the two Adepts of the Warp Prism ever telegraph that this is actually the DT rush? Because I think we've seen this same build before where it was two Adepts out with the Warp Prism hovering around them.
It's the best thing to do with a Warp Prism, basically. And if you're not going to... If you don't have, like, Archons or something, it's the best thing. So, I don't... You could see it with, like, basically any opener. Okay, so the DTs, so far, not really doing too much. There's 4 drones have fallen, and he got a queen over at the 3rd.
There's another DT warping in over here in the main. But I don't know if this is going to be able to do that much. And, you know, eventually, once they have all the detection and they've kind of stabilized, usually the DTs will then go back and start to become Archons here.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder if Hurricane's kind of overstayed his welcome here with the DT tech.
Well, he's going to go ahead and back up for now. Seems like that's over. Spire coming up. This is actually an older way that people used to play against us. I do enjoy the fact that Dark is trying to go Spire in this series so far. It's kind of a cool thing. We haven't seen people use it that much against us. But look at that blink on the way. Who does this?
That's actually pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, Dark, I think one thing about him is he likes to try to flip the game into where he has an answer, has control quite often.
Yeah.
So the moment he's held that off, he's going to go for that tech. And here comes the Archon harass. This is the more traditional harass you see here, since the Protoss is basically just sacrificing shields, and you're basically always killing Zerg units. And this tends to do a lot more damage. But yeah, man, having the blink, you're really going to be prepared for that Spire tech.
Yeah, like he just flew a hallucination over the Spire, so Hurricane knows what's up. You're not going to find a mineral line that's easy to harass, so probably throw up, you know, a battery, a cannon in these locations. And because he's getting blink, he definitely does not need Stargate. This is feeling decent as far as like tech goes for Hurricane right now, and he's got his 3rd base up.
Okay, Warp Prism.
I'm very interested to see if there's any possibility that we see like a Baneling Nest coming up. We used to see that when you would force Blink Stalkers, you'd follow it up with a Baneling Nest because they're surprisingly not as good against huge macro Link Bane.
They blink
Roach.
away and then they all die to the Banelings.
Yeah, something like that. But there's already Archons out, so I'm not sure if that's going to be a smart play. Huh.
Well, I think the one problem is that this muted tech that he's gone into, this might not be particularly useful at all. I mean, you're already seeing that happen right now. Between Archons and Stalkers, there's basically nothing the Mutas can fight. I think one of the goals would be to try to come in there and kill workers off, but, I mean, this is all a very temporary... Oh, my God, this is really bad for Dark.
It's not working at all.
He's already lost too many Mutas before he's even done any damage, and, of course, Blink is easily able to respond to this. So
he's a few probes here and there.
He's going to get one swoop through here to try to do damage, and after that, Protoss should have defense everywhere. Cannons will be finished. And then this Mutatech is basically bunk.
Okay, so he is going for the Baneling Nest, so that makes it a bit more interesting in my opinion, right? Like he's forced a lot. Well, I don't even want to say force. This wasn't a force. This could have been his idea, though, is force the Blink Stalkers. So but either way, it's what Hurricane wanted to do. This was Hurricane's build. He's just following it, you know?
This is also, if this is all very intentional and a lead up, this is a really intelligent way to control tech. So in this matchup, on both sides, a lot of times you're trying to make a certain number of tech units to stop them dead in their tracks or force them to make another set of units. And sometimes you'll have this forced 2 or 3 times over where eventually then you end up with the upper hand with unit comp. So that might be what we're about to see here is mass Banelings suddenly against Stalkers. And you can see with the Ravagers there too, that sort of mutes all the force fields.
I think in this situation, you have to sit back as Hurricane. Dark is maxed out right now, so this would be an anti-timing for him to actually attack. Oh my god, a lot of links start to get in. Some good force fields right there.
Okay, the Ravagers are getting a bit disconnected there from the Zerglings. Did not quite do that much damage there. The Mutas stayed back. They were not part of that attack. They did not go in there and kill off any workers either. So yeah, a very unimpactful move there by Dark, but you know, it still is 3 bases versus, 5 now. The 5th is about to finish. And Dark has started 36 Banelings.
Yeah, that's quite a few Banelings.
Now, a lot of force fields are baited out, right? There might be another opportunity to try to attack in here. That, as well as the fact that Protoss should feel pretty pressured to start to attack out here.
Now,
oh, wow, all the Mutas are going to be killed off here.
I don't think Dark cares that much. I think that was the end of his Mutatech.
I think he needed to free up supply anyways.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so some counter-harassment going on by Hurricane. This is fantastic. Forcing the cancel there. Baneling speed is about to finish.
Yeah. In fact, it's going to be finishing right now. And he is just running through this.
my God.
Oh!
This is so funny to watch.
Yeah. He's got to choose your own adventure right now of which units he wants to blow up. Notice,
My
by the way,
God.
this is not even him trying to style on him by not having the Bailings crash, and he's basically keeping a huge amount of them alive in case another bulk of units comes out.
Why attack
So-
when they're going to do full damage
Yeah,
anyways?
yeah. So it might look a little funny, but
My God.
there's some method to this madness.
So he has killed off basically all the important units and a decent amount of the probes and the cybernetic score. So this could actually be a great time to go back into Mutas or
GG.
something. Doesn't matter. That's it. Okay,
That was an awesome closer. He basically, like you were saying, Artosis, you know, the Stalkers are a great response to the Mutas, but then, of course, the Bailings are a great response to the Stalkers.
Stalkers are bad against lots of units, basically.
Yep.
So, like, Link, Bane, Roach, Ravager is just a good counter against them. We use, like, that's a very old meta to do moves like that to force the Stalkers to get the Banelings. I like seeing Dark incorporate something like that, though.
Okay. You know, Dark is so clean in his approach to the game. He really is completely playing Hurricane here. Let's keep in mind the one game that Hurricane actually won was one where Hurricane basically stopped an all-in and then had the response. And anything that's tempo-wise a little bit more textbook, Dark seems to be the master.
So far, going into set 4, GSL Cobalt, our 4-player map in the pool. Definitely going to play out a lot differently depending upon positions and scout timings. Not exactly sure what we're going to see here. There's a lot of risks you can take.
Okay, Game 4 has loaded up. Hurricane versus Dark continues on Cobalt. Right now.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Pool. All right.
Oh, look at that.
Hurricane.
Dark did go on record saying that this build is good against everything. It's highly contested whether or not he's trolling on that.
Gosu Crew. Dark.
Game 4 in a situation like this is always a big deal because it's either going to be Dark that's up 3-1, and we rarely ever see that happen, except for on Wednesday. A comeback from that, but really we've been casting for a long time. It's very rare to come back in those situations, or we can actually have this evened out. And essentially they'll continue into a best of 3 then. We have 2 to 3 more potential games.
Sure. It's so 6-lings being made. Second probe coming out. What is that probe doing? Huh.
Yeah, he's scouting 2 spots at once.
Didn't his probe already go to bottom left though? So what is that probe actually doing down there?
I don't know.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, he made his cybernetic score. He's actually not expanding. So you would imagine that will be good against the 12 pool. The Nexus is not so good, right? So this seems like advantage Hurricane, but
I don't think that Hurricane would be expecting this build. Now the Zealot is going to pop out literally right before the Lynx get here. I don't...
Okay, so let's see how Dark handles this. Because this is absolutely not what he expected to see. This would have to be very low on the things I expect to see Spectrum on this map.
Okay, the one gate is taken out. He's going to start chiseling away at the other. With 2 Zealots out here, this is a much more manageable... Whoa! He gets surround!
Okay, some sloppy micro there for a minute, missing like at least 1 Zealot shot in each.
Okay, he's going to go for the pylon now. If he can unpower this thing,
Yeah, you can't have that.
it's going to be bad. He's got that Zealot. The Adept is almost out, but the pylon could be taken out before it finishes!
Oh my God!
Oh, it's out!
Oh my God!
It's behind the gate. We got confused for a second. Yeah, there it is.
And did he pull enough probes? It doesn't seem like
No.
it. Oh, maybe he pulled exact.
There
no.
should be. Yeah, there should be enough.
That was close.
Okay, so it's powered up again. This is a lot of pylons to kill off, but there's no units out. With that Adept being killed, all he has is probes.
He's bringing back his injured probes to fight again. Oh my gosh.
He's just trying to buy a little bit of time.
The bottom gateway isn't powered,
Yeah.
Chaseless.
Yeah, that's a very poorly placed pylon there,
Yes.
considering the stakes that are
Yeah.
we're at right now.
What a big deal that is. You know how badly he actually needed to make 2 units here?
Yeah.
Like, if you make 2 Adepts, clean up these Lings, and send them across the map, you have some sick potential for damage. But he's sitting here making 1 Adept. That's half as many Adepts as he wanted to make Tasteless. It's messed up.
Now, the moment that Dark identified he's done enough damage, and it would be a sunken cost fallacy or something to try to keep Lings across the map, he started making drones. He started powering up so he can continue his lead. He killed off his opponent's workers. He's making a ton of his own. He's got Queens up. The Nexus has only just started over here on Hurricane's side of the map. And there's really not much that Hurricane can do to assert himself on the map right now, especially because that second gateway is still unpowered.
And you can't just make pylons willy-nilly. Like, look at his supply. It's 28 to 39, and that's after he lost one of the 3 pylons he made. So, wow. It's just, that is such a big deal that he did not have a pylon in the correct location.
So, from here, I guess the big question is, what exactly does Dark want to do in this game? He is teching into Lair. You know, we have the Twilight Council coming here from Hurricane, but oh, and it's going to be Glaives, actually. Okay, I was going to say, just seeing the Twilight Council doesn't always tell you exactly what they're going to do, but it can give you hints of it.
I think it's pretty fair. Like, I could see Dark doing almost anything from here.
Do you think Nidus play again might have some utility here?
Yeah, he could go for nice play.
Good scout.
Oh my God,
he is just so on top of everything.
It would be hard to have more things going wrong right now for Hurricane.
It's interesting because this is a very tough feeling when you're Protoss. You know, you already get hit that hard, and you're trying to use this gigantic gargantuan map to hide things like those pylons, maybe do an attack, and somehow Dark is everywhere spotting it. I mean, it's a really hopeless feeling for the Protoss in a game like this, as you know you're already in a deficit. Back in Dark space, he's cooking up some kind of strategy that he is going to try to blindside you with, and what you're trying to do is come in here and almost get him in the throat here by hitting him with so many Adepts in a pretty precise timing attack, but even then, your pylons are getting spotted. Dark is taking that out.
Yeah.
I mean, Dark is looking like a perfect Zerg here.
Yeah, everything turned out to go his way. He's taking his 3rd base now. His creep spread's getting to be all right. With speed and +1 on the way, obviously that's going to really help him out as we get later into the game. And look at this now, scouting what Hurricane's up to. There's no surprises. There's none. He knows exactly what's coming. Like, I guess the one thing that there could be a question mark about is, like, is this Charger, is it Glaives? But it almost seems obvious that it's Glaives, to be honest.
Yeah.
Too.
Okay, the Warp Prism is now moving out. And we are waiting to see what kind of damage Hurricane can do here. Dark has continued to grow out on the map. His creep is fanning out further and further. It's Hurricane on 2 bases, teching into Immortals. We have Dark really powering up here with Burrow on the way, as well as plenty of Roaches.
Okay, he's going to go ahead and shade these for you. There's 2 more in the Prism going towards the main base. A couple Queens there sitting, waiting for them.
So this attack, this harass, I should say, is pretty light on all fronts. The hope is that there's simply one neglected location that isn't really well defended, but so far it really seems like Dark is defending everything pretty perfectly here.
Okay, this is kind of cool, though. We see the second Robo and the support bay. So that's... Oh, my God.
Oh, and Hurricane shakes his head as that Warp Prism is destroyed.
Yeah, sits back in his seat, too. You can see how frustrated he really is.
Yeah,
right
realizing he's in hot water. There's no way for this attack to proceed onward.
And now Burrow and Burrow movement on the way, which is kind of an interesting choice.
Yeah.
But when you have this type of advantage, actually back in the very beginning of Wings of Liberty, when people were doing these Protoss gateway timing attacks, this was one of the strategies where you would just burrow and burrow movement and get under the army so that force fields don't do anything and then pop up, right, and fight. Obviously, it can be used for harassment, things like that as well. I'm interested to see what he does with the double Robo here. I think it's just going to be Disruptors coming out, but is he going to be able to live into getting the value out of those that he needs to come back?
Okay, Roach is burrowing and actually advancing forward here.
Oh, this is so funny.
Oh, my God.
Oh, look at that shadow, that dark. Brooding. He knows. He's like, no, this is terrible.
I don't like this.
I only have 1 shield battery here.
Oh my God.
That's such a funny thing. You never have an observer at that point.
Yeah, yeah. And, I mean, that's going to be pretty much it. We have some adepts counterattacking here, but this is just too much damage. He's on top of the Robo here. There's a Disruptor out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the end. Dark has won in just such a dominant God tier fashion.
Yeah.
Let's keep in mind, Protoss got the wall in off at the start.
Yeah, you did.
The Lings got down there. Dark is just a stone cold killer, man.
Yeah. Showing the 12 pool strength, I guess. A good finish there. No one ever just makes an observer and sits it there. No one makes a cannon. So, kind of a intelligent move there from Dark. Just using his overwhelming power at that point. Now he leads 3-1. He's one map win away from a finals here. But, you know, we were talking about Classic, how Classic was killing Trap, and then Trap came back, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
This is looking very, very futile for Hurricane here. Hopefully he can come back. We're going to find out if he does. After this short break, don't go away. We'll have some more games for you here in just a little bit at the GSL.
Feel the thunder in my veins. Feel the fire, let it rage. Like the hunter on his prey. Once you think you got me trapped, I make my escape. You think you got me? You think you got me? You think you got me? I'm coming out of my cage. 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 Feel the rumble, your castle quakes. Can't stop what's coming, can't run away. Try and stop me, throw me in shades. Once you think you got me trapped down, I'm coming out of my cage. 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 Go ahead, just try and stop me. I'll make sure you leave crawling. Go ahead, just try and stop me. I'll make sure you leave crawling. I'm coming out of my cage. 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 I'm coming out of my cage.
Finals. (2019) Mountain Dew GSL Season 2. Code S. Renaissance.
Okay, we are back, and we're ready now to go into Game 5 here between Hurricane and Dark. Hurricane has only won one game. Dark is really crushing it. The only game that Dark lost was the pretty crazy all-in that Hurricane held off, and it's a pretty straightforward recovery from there, the War Prism counterattack with the Immortal. So I think Hurricane is going to have to step it up big time because Dark from A to Z seems to have the perfect approach to this matchup.
He has played so aggressively throughout this. I guess the biggest macro game he had was the Thunderbird game, which is a hard one to get aggressive on anyways, in which he went Muta to, and then counter the Stalkers very, very well. So overall, dictating really is the best way to describe it. Like, Dark is not letting Hurricane play whatever the hell he prepared. It doesn't matter what he prepared because Dark's not letting him do it.
Yeah, Dark is setting the board, and then it's up to Hurricane to come up with a solution. Now, I don't know what Hurricane's had planned in a lot of these games. We haven't really gotten to see it yet. But let's see if he can pull something off on New Repugnancy as we go into game number 5. Hurricane versus Dark continues on.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Hurricane. Gosu Crew. Dark.
So we've got the probe once again out on the map trying to block that hatchery.
Doing a fine job. Oh, gotta be careful though. He loses that probe. That's when you really feel bad.
Yeah, that's when you're already off to a insanely bad start before it should have been possible to have a bad start. And we have Dark coming up here now, and he's going to go for the hatch plant.
So still kind of dictating the game.
Yeah, no, it's the same themes, absolutely. And now it's going to be up to Hurricane to decide how many workers he wants to use to try to kill this off. The more workers use to attack this, the quicker it dies with the less money you're mining. And then also, Hurricane has to try to intuit what Dark is going to do behind this, because obviously Dark has delayed the Nexus from Hurricane without sacrificing that much, other than some progress back at home for him. And it just seems like Dark has a very good handle on exactly how to steer a game. So this is going to be canceled at the last possible second, and the drone might even be able to be used to scout inside to the main here if it can get around, and it is.
Yeah. Some kind of good stuff there for Dark. This is definitely the type of play that he's been going for. Doesn't let him take that gas.
Yeah.
Being very careful about that. Doesn't want Dark to dictate any more than he already has. But can you pull things together now? We did see Trap pull things together against Classic.
So the drone's continuing to make loops around here, try to get a read on anything that will telegraph what the next few moves from Hurricane are going to be. And that's usually tech, and then how much gas is being mined, stuff like that.
Yeah, I like the adapt. I hope he sends the next one out here as well. Just trying to put a little bit of counter pressure on, forcing him to make lings, forcing lost mining time. These are small things you can do. Get yourself into a better position. Robo going down. Okay, so we have a much better idea now of what Hurricane wants to do. But for Dark, no third hatchery as of yet, but he is getting Zergling speed.
Okay, Adept's coming forward. Oh, almost gets the body block there on that third hatchery.
All
think this is a pretty light harass here with these adepts, just
Yeah.
having these two move around the map.
Nothing that's happened yet is a super big deal.
And by the way, it's not entirely clear what Dark wants to do either here. He's just droning up.
Well, I guess, you know, there's two phases of questions. One, are you going to be super aggressive this game? It seems like the answer might be no. Oh, second gas. Hold on. Hold my breath on that.
I think there's still time for him to try to do that.
Okay, layer going down. You know, at a certain point, though, you got to look at it and say, okay, you're playing reactive now as Zerg, which is more of the natural state of Zerg, right? Dark mixes in a lot of aggression, but that window will eventually close to the point where the Protoss has enough, you can't really catch them off guard.
Right.
And then they're going to get aggressive. And that's where you have to be reacting correctly. So, could be what we see here. There is an Overlord hidden down at the bottom. We could see something like a drop coming in again. We'll see if he sends that Overlord up into a location to pick up lings.
Nidus Worms have been very popular, especially in pairs here as well. So just something to watch for there, too. And we have the Warp Prism and the Adepts coming across the map again. Very light harass.
Yeah, not finding anything as of yet. But looking for things. That's important. You see that early observer?
Yeah.
I
That's
don't think
definitely
it
a
is.
response from a previous game.
Well, I think he's trying to push back the Overlord there so he can harass more quickly with the Prism, but he's not getting anything done with the Prism.
Oh my God, not again! Oh! Just barely saves that.
Big sigh of relief there from Hurricane, but
Yeah.
not perfect play for
And
him.
he's looking just a little bit rough around the edges here with his play style.
Yeah. Zergling drop is going to be coming in. It doesn't look like there's a Zergling
Yeah, this is like
counterattack
just
ready.
perfectly hidden.
Yeah. Just out of range. So that is very annoying. And he's actually getting into Hydralisk beyond this. Look at this, a great scout as well. He's going to be very happy with what he's scouting. Seeing the Forge in the Twilight, that means he's actually going to be able to get enough Hydras to fight. Like,
Yeah.
if neither of those were there and he saw a couple more gates, he'd probably be like, uh-oh. You know, this
Yeah.
is coming soon.
So Hurricane's actually going to be taking to third next, it looks like. At least we saw the hologram for that over there at the third base. The Adepts are going to continue to harass here. Again, this is the Warp Prism that took a real beating early on, so he's got to be careful if that ever gets isolated. It can be picked out very quickly, especially with Hydralisks in play.
Seems like we're going to get into Langbane Hydra here from Dark.
Yeah, and it looks like he might try to be pushing in here pretty
Oh my
quickly. And he's just
God.
going to get the cancel. Look at that. Cancel and immediately leaves. Does not even lose a Zergling in the process.
Very nice stuff right there. Look at
Dark
this.
is a killer.
Yeah, he's doing real well. Making quite a few Lings and Hydras at the moment. Now, does he go directly into Storm? He sees the Hydras. I feel like he's got to. Baneley Nest coming up. There it is. Okay, so this very likely is going to get into a big macro game. You know, there is going to be like a moment when Baneling's speed finishes and Hydra's as well, that possibly he can get in and do something, but with the Storm started this early, I can't really see, you know, Hurricane dying.
I
He
think
should be able
Hurricane
to
has
weather whatever comes.
He's got stay power, I think, for sure.
Yeah. He's got like enough going on. You know, he's got some sentries there to slow things down. He's got Storm on the way. He's already warped in some High Templars, I believe. So he'll have the Storm energy. Which means that we're going to get into like a real actual mid-game in PvZ. Nice.
Yeah, well, I think Dark has a lot of room to experiment here, right? When you're this far ahead, you can do all-ins, you can do conservative games because you've got such a win tempo on your side. But let's see how Hurricane does in this situation. We're going to finally get to see Hurricane play the game it looks like he intended to come in here playing, because every other game was Dark doing something very decisive that required Hurricane to start to be on the defense, start to be on the reacting end of that.
Yeah. No charge yet, by the way. That's kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a little bit strange.
I
There
think
it is.
he just realized it, because that's like the
He might
latest
have
I've
just
ever seen
missed
it
it.
started.
That'll happen sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
we'll see players make two of the same tech buildings by accident. When it really matters the most, sometimes you'll see these occasionally somewhat novice mistakes.
So I'm going to clean up these couple of Adepts, not the biggest deal. A lot of Lings being produced right now on 73 drones. This is the type of economy that can just consistently throw in Lingbane Hydra at your opponent. Drop Lord on the way.
Keep in mind with this Lingbane Hydra composition, although it's very explosive and can obliterate armies very quickly, when the Banelings are gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
And so sometimes if we see failed attempts by Hydra Bane over and over, the Zerg has exhausted a lot of what they were building up to.
Yeah, the main thing you're going to want to look for is Dark reducing the important unit count, the tech units, right?
Exactly.
Is he killing Immortals? Is he killing Sentries? Is he killing High Templars? Is he killing Archons? Because if you can reduce those on your attacks, even if you're trading as a Lingbane Hydra player, you're starting to gain an advantage.
And this is also based off the different growth rates and the way that they produce between Zerg and Protoss. You know, you can't get all your robo units back at once.
Yeah.
Whereas Zerg can just make everything from larva. Right.
You know, yeah, you can warp in a couple more High Templars, but you need to build that count over time.
Hold on, we got a push coming in here, and it doesn't appear to be that there's anything over here to defend. Meanwhile, a Zealot drop over there with the War Prism still alive in the main. Oh my God!
Wow.
The Bane drop was denied without being able to unload a single unit.
Yeah, mistake there, no doubt.
Dark, Dark
beautiful.
losing on multiple fronts here. Hold on, can he get a surround on this army? A recall would be ideal.
Oh, well, he actually starts to get a good engagement off here. Yeah, the recall, is that actually going to work?
Oh!
Okay. Doesn't spend his Banelings there, probably a smart move. But 10 drones going down, a base going down. He saved an okay amount of his tech units and got some good damage done. And stopped the Baneling drop and all that, although that was really something neither of them were paying attention to.
What?
I just realized that when I laughed about it, it just sounded so stupid. But it was an honest laugh.
Yeah, you were
'Cause I'm
genuinely
like,
amused
well,
by
he
that.
stopped that, but then I'm like, but really, I could tell neither of them were looking at it at all. It was queued up and it just died to cannon. So it's like, doesn't mean anything really other than thank God for Hurricane, right?
You might as well have said, haha, I love casting these games, Tasteless.
Yeah.
You phony fake guy. So, right now, Protoss still on these three bases. Zerg is completely hugging the right side of the map with very healthy creep spread. Basically, Hurricane has to be really careful with how and when he engages because a few more good Baneling connects is going to drop Hurricane's tech to 0. Oh, I love this DT coming in here.
Oh yeah, that DT is very, very nice. Lurker tech on the way as well as that Hive. Oh, he's actually catching it. He's a decent amount of units here.
Oh, this is actually really bad. I don't know why the army is disjointed like that.
Yeah.
This Archon is not even being covered by the other Zealots there.
Seems like he maybe was sending over a small force to clear that area out because he needs to take a fourth. Like, that's number one thing on Hurricane's agenda right now is getting a fourth base up. Feels like is he spending too much time on things like harassment? Like, yeah, he just killed 9 drones. I don't feel like that matters. What matters right now is getting a fourth base up and mining. Get a prism out on the map, okay? You gotta be ready for this next phase, which is going to be lurkers. Okay, there's the prism being sent out. Very, very important that he has that out there. This is so many lurkers. 19 lurkers.
Yeah. He might have a really strong push on that fourth base. Dark once again neglecting covering this area here. Now, even though Hurricane gets in here and does some damage, I don't know if it's really enough for Dark to ever have to worry about that. Gosh, that War Prism is still there too.
It's Innovations battle cruiser on fire down there, Tasteless.
The last of the humans.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is there no observer over this?
Yeah.
Okay.
No sort of stop position or anything. That is just so many lurkers.
Yeah.
What an absurd amount of lurkers. Well, this is the time where you have to try to figure out what you're doing here as Hurricane. Like, are you going to try to actually kill the lurkers? Are you going to try to run around the lurkers, do harassments in other locations?
The runaround might be a good idea. The problem is if he runs around, the lurkers will get this fourth base.
Yeah, it's a real big problem. You have to, if you're gonna do the runaround thing, you have to already be doing it so that the lurkers can't be as aggressive.
Okay, so some storms are coming down here, but I
Oh
think
my
these
God.
lurkers are being spaced out really
He has
nicely.
so much.
Whoa!
Okay, I just saw like 8 storms go away. There was like 8 storms of energy just lost there.
Yeah. He's now going to push in here, and this is going to be a very hard location to try
Oh
to
my
break
God,
in. Keep
no.
in mind the Overseer can snipe can assist with the Hydras sniping the Observers. The Observer location is actually in the center of our screen right now. The Hydras are going to come up and try to get that Observer now. And it's gone. There's one more Observer north of this screenshot here, just on the edge.
Yeah, a bit of an anticlimactic ending, I feel like. This is doing so much damage to Hurricane. Hurricane's lost almost his entire army. What he has left is so small,
God.
and it's going to get smaller.
Hurricane just got owned. GG.
Well, that is it. Dark makes his first GSL Codes Finals. Long time coming, seriously. The last 4 years we've been waiting for him to get this far.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he looked good here today against Hurricane, but I don't think that Hurricane was playing at 100% of what he can do right now. I think he was maybe a little bit rattled, and Dark definitely did his own work to get him rattled in this series by being so aggressive.
I'll tell you what I think, Artos. I think it's very clear to everybody in chat that Zerg needs a nerf right now because Protoss is just not
It doesn't
strong.
look like Protoss can actually beat Zerg after watching this series.
Dark made this look so easy. This was